I'd like to ask the Chairman of the Communications Commission whether the Communications Commission approved Manx Telecom's new location-based Ethernet services pricing model, and how this policy supports the programme for government objective to have utilities that support island communities and businesses.
I call on the Chairman of the Communications Commission to reply.
Mr Deputy President, the Communications Commission does not formally approve Manx Telecom's pricing. However, in markets where Manx Telecom has been deemed to have significant market power, it does work to ensure wholesale prices are cost-oriented. The carrier EarthNet portfolio falls within one of these regulated areas, and the Communications Commission therefore did access the pricing in terms of whether it met with regulatory obligations. Unlike the existing network, the new carrier EarthNet network differentiates according to metro and non-metro areas, rather than in locations and local exchanges. This has resulted in price reductions across the board. The Communications Commission view is that on balance this was a positive move and should help support Isle of Man business.
Supplementary question, Mr Hooper.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. I note the Chairman didn't answer the second part of my question, which is how does this metro pricing policy actually support the objective within the programme for government that utilities should support our island communities and businesses? Does he really think a policy that charges businesses outside of Douglas up to £1,300 more just to connect to the service, and then nearly an extra £1,000 a month to have access to business-level internet, really is a policy that is supporting our whole island, or whether that is really trying to focus development in Douglas?
Chairman to reply.
Mr Deputy President, this is a retail issue for Manx Telecom, not for the Commission. The Manx Telecom, and I don't want to get quite technical, I've had a couple of days trying to get my head around it myself, has installed some new exchanges in both Douglas and in Castletown, and also some linkage between Douglas and Castletown, which are the highest usage areas on the Isle of Man. It has only been cost efficient for them to put it in because of the amount of usage in them two areas. What has actually resulted in that the flow is much quicker and the cost to Manx Telecom is much cheaper. They have passed this cost saving on to the consumer because they have a quantity issue here. So that it becomes a metro area in Douglas, a metro area in Castletown linked. Out of town areas have not had this linkage and this new exchange fitted yet. So the cost of supplying the out of town is greater. Now in the retail market of internet, because we control or monitor the wholesale, it gives an even playing field for the other suppliers on the island, and it's between the other suppliers to play the market to find the best price on the market to sell their product. So that is why Communications Commission does not interfere in the retail side of anything that goes on. Only because Manx Telecom has the main bulk of infrastructure on the Isle of Man, we monitor the wholesale price, and they have lots of hoops they have to jump through on the wholesale price to make sure it's an even playing field for the other suppliers on the island.
Supplementary question, Dr Allinson.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. Would the Chairman of the Communications Commission agree that these sort of issues should really be addressed by the telecommunications strategy which is being written up at the moment in terms of trying to attract more businesses to settle on the Isle of Man and encourage people who work from home to get good internet access at a decent price?
Chairman to reply.
Indeed, I do, Mr Deputy President, and that does fall within the programme for government, which is what the Honourable Member is asking about. I mean, fibre to the home will speed up considerably if that's the direction that this government decides to go down. But we cannot, as a Commission, interfere with the retail market on the Isle of Man and how people like Manx Telecom want to operate their prices. Oh, as I say, I keep going back, it's only the wholesale that we can regulate the prices on.